The Seminoles of Florida State on the road against the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech in a key game in the ACC. And this is a series that Florida State has owned against the Yellow Jackets in ACC play. Once a national power, Florida State has struggled in recent years. Now the Noles look like they're back. They bring their high-flying offense to Atlanta in control of their own destiny in the ACC Atlantic Division. Bobby Bowden has never lost to Georgia Tech. A 13th straight win over the Yellow Jackets today would propel Bowden's boys in their quest for an ACC crown. But there's a new leader at the Flats. Paul Johnson's brought his spread option to Georgia Tech, and the Ramblin' Wreck has rolled to 6 wins. Today, the Yellow Jackets hope to maintain their own ACC title dreams. It's Florida State and Georgia Tech in Atlanta. Coming up next. A crystal clear day, not a cloud in sight as you look in from the blimp into Bobby Dodd Stadium at our matchup today in the ACC, Florida State and Georgia Tech. Welcome to Atlanta, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler. You know, I've lived in an ACC city for almost 3 decades. I've never seen the conference standings look like this. On a night when we're supposed to fall back with the clocks, you'd think somebody would try to spring forward in the ACC standings. Florida State right now in control of their own destiny. Maryland's got the day off. They don't play until Thursday against Virginia Tech. Virginia beat Georgia Tech last week. That was an opportunity in the Coastal Division for Georgia Tech to kind of step forward. They couldn't. Virginia right now is embattled with Miami in overtime. That's the way this season has been in the Atlantic Coast Conference. I welcome in my first partner, Bob Griese. Question, Griese, is Florida State all the way back?
Well, they're close. Defensively, they're back in the top 10 in the nation. Offensively, they found their leader. Quarterback Christian Ponder makes his 8th start today. They tell us he's the real deal, and the coaching staff is as good as Bobby's had in a long time.
Speaking of coaching staffs, I guess the skeptics have been quieted here at the Flats. Paul Johnson 6-2. If nothing else, they're unique.
It's unique, and it's a hybrid offense is what it is. It's a spread, but it's a triple option spread. Only 2 teams out of 119 in Division I use this offense. I saw Paul a little bit earlier down on the field, and I asked him, what's the key to the success of this offense?
Well, I think we've got to get the play started. We've got to be able to get the quarterback out of the box on the option plays and not allow penetration by the guys you're trying to block inside. And then on the perimeter, we'd like to get some guys cut to the ground.
They've got some guys on the perimeter that can make big plays. This offense has probably made more big plays than Georgia Tech did all of last year in more conventional offense. One thing that keeps them in games, Paul, their defense is pretty good.
That is, yes, in the secondary, they're hurting just a little bit.
Yeah.
But they have linebackers and defensive linemen. And we asked Bobby about the other day. We said, Coach, what about this Tech defense? He said, I'll tell you, son, he said, they got 2 dadgum pretty good defensive ends on this football team. And that's Johnson and Morgan. They have 21 sacks on the defense. These 2 guys have half of the sacks. And one other thing, they're second in the nation in tackles for loss with 71. That's incredible.
And they can intercept the ball. They've got the nation's leader back there. Speaking of leadership, the leaders on the team, Stacy's down there with them, know how big this game is today.
I have been observing these players. I've talked to them all week. Even though they lost to Virginia last weekend, I assure you there is no hangover effect. In fact, I talked to quarterback Josh Nesbitt, and he told me, head coach Paul Johnson, basic message all week. If you guys think you're a good team, you cannot lose 2 games in a row. He said it's time we have to come out and prove ourselves again, and one thing they have to do, they cannot turn the football over. That's the key this week, Brad.
Well, the Ramblin' Wrecks out there, so are the Yellow Jackets. They're set for the Noles when we come back. 15th ranked Florida State on the road against Georgia Tech. Stacy is down on the field with the coach.
Now, Coach Bowden, as you guys have prepared for the triple option offense, what unique things have you done in practice this week to get ready for the game?
Well, you have to change your strategy all the way around, and we've tried to do that, get a base plan. Then we've done like a lot of people. We'll practice without the offense having the ball, so our kids will concentrate on their assignment. This is an assignment defensive football game. You take him, you take him, you take him. And when you don't, you get in trouble.
All right, thanks, Coach. We appreciate it.
You got to love practicing without a ball. Paul Johnson on the sideline, his first year at Georgia Tech after a successful stint at Navy, and prior to that, national championships twice at Georgia Southern. The Yellow Jackets won the toss and have deferred. Late arriving crowd, but now it's getting vocal. You can't ask for a prettier day. Jonathan Dwyer firing up the student body. Scott Blair will tee it up. Michael Ray Garvin and Preston Parker will await on the other end. It's a must-win for Georgia Tech. It's a statement win for Florida State that could put them at the head of the class and maybe have them headed toward Tampa. But they've won 12 straight. Georgia Tech hasn't won in this series since way before these two teams were ACC members. Here we go from Atlanta. Preston Parker at the 11. Parker across the 30 and out to about the 32-yard line. Scott Blair, the kicker, made the tackle after a 21-yard return. Christian Potter on the sideline will bring out the Florida State team and the impact players presented by Best Buy. His favorite receiver, Greg Carr, at 6'6", who can go up and get it. Everett Brown had 3 sacks last week, defensive lineman of the week in the conference. And on the back end, Tony Carter, 9 career interceptions, and he knows what to do when he gets his hands on the ball as both a defenseman or a punt returner. Knowles, the throw on first down. A little bit behind the receiver, but Parker made a tough catch and got 9 out of it. Christian Ponder, the guy Bob talked about, only a sophomore, but already in graduate school out of Colleyville, Texas. And there's his numbers. And we saw him have a great game, especially as a runner against Miami. He had over 140 yards on the ground. 2nd down and 1. You see the starting lineups above the scoreboard. Here's the pitch to Smith. He's got the first down and the corner. Anton Smith, who's been a little bit banged up, has got some bad ribs, but didn't look like he was hurting there, did he?
He ran very well with the ball. He's also had an elbow injury, has no wrappings on the elbow. Didn't work up, didn't out very much before the ball game, but going to try and go as far as he can go and then pass it on to somebody else.
And he's already gone to the 47-yard line at Georgia Tech. Carr and Reed, the 2 wideouts to the bottom of your screen. First down, Florida State. Ponder, quick slant, complete. It's Carr diving forward to the 33, and a first down and a pickup of 14. A key matchup when you talk about this game, and Paul sort of touched about the Georgia Tech defensive line and how experienced they are. Florida State, a lot of youngsters on that front wall, but they learned a lot from last year.
Yes, they did. As you see there are 3 starting offensive linemen that are true freshmen. Both tackles, the right and left tackles and the right guard, are true freshmen. Very good defensive line for Tech.
Quick snap, nice play fake by Ponder. Rolling left, trying to find a receiver, and instead he'll get what he can, about a 2-yard pickup to the 31. Derek Morgan made the stop, one of those defensive ends that Paul talked about. We understand that Miami has beaten Virginia in overtime, and that continues to mess up the conference standings. Virginia had been the hottest team in the conference, and now Miami jumps up and beats them.
Virginia is like Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah.
They're up and down, and Miami has been playing well the last few weeks.
I'm sure Coach Friedgen's watching this game too. Maryland's been a little schizoid this year too. No offense intended, Coach. 2nd down and 8. Ponder in the shotgun. With 5 wide receivers. Throws and complete to Carr again. He breaks the tackle. Carr on the run inside the 15. He's got it down to the 11-yard line. Well, we said Greg Carr was an impact player. He's an impact guy on this drive already.
Well, I'm going to tell you one thing about this catch. The throw was perfect. But after this catch, you know what you're going to see? Number 5, Preston Parker, get a block. Watch this. Here's the catch. Look at coming from the right. Right there. That was Parker making the block.
All of the completions have been on slant routes too, Brad.
Yep.
To the wide receivers.
Now Carr comes down to the bottom of your screen. They don't mind throwing a jump ball to him at 6'6". First down at the Rendlin Rec 11-yard line. On the ground is Sims. A few tough yards inside to about the 8. Derek Morgan made another tackle. Georgia Tech haven't allowed a touchdown in the last 13 games. They're in danger of blowing that graphic up right here.
Well, this defense is ranked in the top 20 in the nation in every defensive category.
The Noles have a 2nd down and 7. They can get a 1st down inside the Georgia Tech 1. Carr trots out to the right this time. Ponder in the shotgun. And he's going to run with it. Quarterback draw all the way. And whistles had blown before he took off. I think maybe Spurlock, the right guard, moved early. The fans are booing because they wanted the play to stand and the tackle to be made.
Prior to the snap, delay of game, number 7. That's a 5-yard penalty. It's still 2nd down.
Well, it took too much time.
Yeah, they just take too much time. This is on Ponder at the end of the play because the 25-second clock or the 40-second clock is right at the end of the field. He should be able to see it very, very easily, unless they took too much time getting the play into it.
This could change things quite a bit. 7th play of the drive, 2nd down and 11. Looks left all the way, goes complete there, but Burnett makes a great play at the 9-yard line, and the open field stop on Reed.
You know, the one thing about, you talk about Burnett, now here, this young man has got 6 interceptions, leading the nation. The thing about Burnett is if I'm going to pick on someone in that secondary, he's not going to be the guy, because even the coaches told us he's the best football player on the field right now. Number 1, this young man can read, and when you see Ponder step back and he eyeballs the receiver that he's going to throw to Reed, I wouldn't do that.
I would be thinking about where number 18 is as well. He's down to the bottom of your screen. Tech with a blitz. They're going to throw it to Carr in the corner. He falls down. Flags go down as well. Michael Peterson over there trying to cover big number 18. Jack Childress is our referee. Here's the call.
Pass interference, number 35 of the defense. Penalty places the ball at the 2-yard line. That's an automatic 1st down.
That's a killer.
Well, Peterson is the 6th defensive back. He's playing in there because of the injuries to Ward Daniels and to Reese. So they've got their best receiver on the, oh yeah, that just, I mean, you could do that if the ball was not in the air, as long as he's in front of you. But since it was in the air, you just can't do that.
1st and goal now, Florida State.
They got the great matchup. They won it.
Sims, the tailback, will get the pitch behind his blockers, and he stood up. Nice job by the Georgia Tech defense. Tony Clark, the outside linebacker, and a loss of 1.
Yes, I know I was talking just a moment ago. We're going to be talking about him this whole game as Morgan Burnett, number 1. Now, he's a safety, and he only weighs 198 pounds when I say only. But he's the guy that made the initial hit that didn't allow Sims to get into the end zone.
At the 3-yard line, 2nd down a goal. This is the opening drive of the football game, and Florida State's taking it the length of the field, aided by penalty. Nice play fake by Ponder. On the roll, he's going to keep it, and he won't get there. Anthony Barnes, the outside linebacker, with a stop.
It's a nice play by Barnes. It looked like Ponder just had to walk into the end zone, and then he pulled it down. Barnes came up and made a tackle to save the touchdown.
10th play of the drive coming up. Still no score, but the clock is down to 8:50. Another huge 3rd down play. The last time Georgia Tech was penalized and gave Florida State another chance. On the option, Ponder trying to find the end zone, and he did. Touchdown. Christian Ponder, 3-yard scoring run.
Here you take a look. They run the option on 3rd down. Ponder doesn't see anything outside. There's a hole inside. One of the offensive linemen may have got a block that allowed that gaping hole. Ponder sneaks in.
And the officials stop play before the extra points. Now the play is being reviewed. And we'll take another look along with Charlie Callis, a replay official up here.
I really like what Ponder does here. Like Grease said, he saw nothing to the outside. And just remember something. You look at where his knees hit the ground and where the ball is when his knees hit. That ball is over the line, and he's leaning out.
Well, you can't see where his knees hit, Paul. That's the only thing. The ball definitely goes over the end line. There is nothing from what we have seen that they can reverse this call on.
That's the key, isn't it?
Ponder right now thinking that he has scored his first rushing touchdown. We talked about his impressive rushing numbers, but he hadn't been in the end zone until that one, and maybe he's still not. Here's the call.
After video review, the call on the field has been confirmed. Touchdown.
There you go.
Capping a 10-play drive, 68 yards and 6.5 minutes.
Ponder 4 for 4 on the drive, and most all of those were slant routes to the wide receivers.
Gano in for the point after. Good looking opening march by the Seminoles. On the road, Florida State takes the lead over Georgia Tech and Christian Ponder's 3-yard touchdown, 7-0. ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC, and in high definition on a highly beautiful day in Atlanta. How about this one, guys, huh? Is this pretty?
Isn't that a great shot of the city?
From the Bloomin' Onion, our great shot from the blimp. Florida State went 68 yards on their opening drive. Used a good chunk of the first quarter to score first, 7-0 Noles. James Esco to kick, Marcus Wright and Roddy Jones. That's Roddy Jones back deep. Jones at the 9. Out across the 30. Roddy Jones all the way into Florida State territory at the 46-yard line. Tech has had all kinds of trouble on kick returns this year. That's about the best they've done, 46 yards.
But you got to look at the way he just sets up inside behind that wall. Look at Roddy Jones. Watch him sit in behind the wall. Now he follows them up, and then when they break off, he breaks off. Look at the hole. Just perfect running and great reading.
Talking with Georgia Tech special teams coach yesterday, and I said, you're going to get a kickoff return for a touchdown? I said, we just want somebody to catch one. That was a pretty good one.
That sure was.
46 to the 46. First down, Georgia Tech. Here's Josh Nesbitt wanting to throw on first down. And does, and Dwyer's got it at the 16-yard line. Nothing to this spread option stuff. Just drop back and pass.
Colt McCoy or any of those guys could have thrown this ball any better.
Right on the money.
Watch the back right here. He's going to swing down the sideline. It's covered beautifully. You know, you can't throw this ball any better.
Georgia Tech, 2 big plays, and they're at the Noles 16. Now it's Dwyer on the dive, and he goes for about 3. Our city X factor, number 9, Josh Nesbitt. Doesn't put up big numbers throwing, but what this spread option does do is gets the defense so comfortable that they've got guys, 8 and 9 guys in the box. When he drops back, he can make big plays.
Well, that's it. You know, 80% of this offense is run, 20% is pass, but that 20%, you're probably going to have single coverage on your receivers.
Second down at 7. Now the keeper by Nesbitt, and Florida State, as Bobby Bowden told Stacy, it's assignment football. And playing his assignment very well, Derek Nicholson, and a loss on the play of about a yard. Let's take a look at our Best Buy impact players. For Georgia Tech, Demarius Thomas, big wide receiver at 230 pounds, hard to handle. Michael Johnson, one of those defensive ends Paul talked about, an all-ACC performer. And in the back end, Morgan Burnett leads the country interceptions with 6. And we've seen him make some big plays already on the opening drive for Florida State. 3rd down and 8. That's Thomas. Nesbitt's looking for him. Throws, and it is almost intercepted at the goal line by Patrick Robinson. Now, Robinson knew what we did. Where's number 8 on a 3rd and long, and he knew where he was.
Well, Robinson was in absolutely perfect position, Ness, on this play. When you see Robinson, number 21, you're going to see him. Watch this. He knows this ball's coming here. He sees him set up. When he sees Thomas set up, he just steps right in front of him. Should have caught the ball.
It's good defensive coverage. The defensive back outplayed the receiver on that ball.
Scott Blair in for a 31-yard field goal attempt. He's 7 out of 12 on the year, doing all of Georgia Tech's kicking chores. Blair's kick on the way, and it's good. Georgia Tech scores on its opening drive, but only got 3. 7-3 Seminoles.
You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC, presented by Best Buy.
That's the Oakland Cemetery, founded in 1850, resting place of Atlanta icons such as Margaret Mitchell, Bobby Jones, Maynard Jackson, and soldiers from the Civil War. Historic Oakland Foundations raise funds to restore that historic Atlanta trademark. This is a trademark in sorts, one of the oldest stadiums in the country, Bobby Dodd Stadium in Grant Field. As you look in a 7-3 ball game, Florida State in front of Georgia Tech here in the first quarter. Michael Ray Garvin, dangerous return man from the 4. He's got a seam already. Garvin, the kicker to beat. Down the sideline, ball comes out. Recovered by his own man.
Unbelievable.
On the bounce. Nigel Brandom takes it on one hop.
Ness, he was out of bounds before he fumbled the ball. It's all the way back up here. It's got to come back here, because he stepped out of bounds before he fumbled the ball.
Well, I don't see any sign of an official standing near the sideline.
All right, just take a look at when he breaks to the outside. First of all, he's got a great wall. Now he comes down inside the 50 to 40. Watch his right leg right there. He stepped out of bounds on about the 32, his left leg on the 32-yard line. I got him walking, running the other way. But that ball should be out of bounds back here.
They've got it spotted down at the 10, but Jack Childress is coming to the sideline to talk to the linesman and the field judge.
Yeah, they're going to move this back because our man Paul saw it.
Hey, don't ever fool around when I'm watching.
They're going to move it back.
You know, even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while.
Yeah, well, this guy isn't blind yet. Take a look at it. There's the step. He hits the, and the official standing right there looking at it.
About the 33-yard line. You saw that open a long time before he was there.
Yeah, it looked like a big wall there in front.
It was huge. Gaping hole to run through.
And let me add one other thing. The kicker causes this. Hello, the kicker.
Scott Blair. He's had to make both tackles on kick return so far. That's not a good sign.
How about the way that ball just bounced right up to the
perfect hop?
Yeah.
Garvin came in leading the ACC in kick returns. He won't hurt his average. Here's the call.
After video review, it's determined that the player stepped out of bounds at the 33.5-yard line. First down.
Well, Paul was only off by a half yard, huh?
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
That's where the blind squirrel comes in.
That's right. So we've seen 2 great kick returns, one by each team today. Florida State scored on its opening drive, capped a 68-yard march in 10 plays with Christian Ponder, the quarterback, taking it in from 3 yards out. Georgia Tech got a long kick return of their own, led to a field goal. That's where we are. And now, in a series that has been owned by Florida State, the Seminoles set up shop in the Ramblin' Wreck territory at the 33-yard line with their second offensive possession of the day. Anton Smith. He got hit immediately by Cedric Griffin. Well, What's the plan? The plan is already at 7-3, but what's the plan, guys?
Well, the plan for Florida State, it's in the pits. You got to win the offensive and defensive battles in the pits. And for Georgia Tech, run, and run some more. And then run, Forrest, run. But then every now and then, take a shot down the field because you're going to get some great opportunities.
And that's what they did on their opening drive on the pass out of the backfield at Dwyer. 3 wideouts for Florida State. They look confused with their alignment. They're going to take timeouts with 5:40 remaining first quarter. Florida State in front, 7-3.
You're watching ESPN College Football on ABC, presented by Best Buy.
Florida State following its timeout has second down and about 7 to go at the Georgia Tech 31-yard line. Georgia Tech has only blitzed once so far today. They look like they were thinking about it there. Great jump off the ball by Johnson, and the ball is dropped by Preston Parker. Hey, did you see how quick Michael Johnson got off the ball?
And I tell you, he's reading something. He's either hearing the cadence or he's reading the offensive tackle, and as soon as that tackle makes a move, he's gone.
Man, he almost beat the snap on that thing.
And there's one the few defensive ends you'll ever see that you think, I mean, he looks like a basketball player. I think he's got about a 30-inch waist. The guy is so thin, but he is strong.
There's Johnson right here in the center.
3rd down and 7. Ponder, the quick throw on Carr. The slant again, and Georgia Tech just can't handle it. Cooper Taylor, the true freshman, made the tackle. Bobby Bowden talked with us about Christian Ponder and how he's really improving every week.
He is nowhere close to maxed out. You know what? I expect him to get better every week. Now, statistics might not show. I'm not interested in statistics. We're interested in winning ball games. You know what? It's how many times can he get you in the end zone. And he's been getting us in there more than the other team has.
I love Bobby.
5 out of 6 times he's got it in the right hand so far in the first quarter. Smith. Boy, that's a tough run by Smith. Almost to the 10-yard line.
Let's take a look at that offensive line, Paul, for Florida State. There's 3 freshmen.
And they actually go up over where the sophomores are, and that's number 62 is Rodney Hudson. He's a sophomore. The center is a sophomore, McMahon.
Yeah.
But the other guys, the right tackle, right guard, and the left tackle are all true freshmen.
2nd down and 3. Parker, the motion man. It'll be Smith, the second man through. Anton Smith bounces it outside. Got to the 10, but a nice tackle by Cooper Taylor. And Anton lost one of his wheels. Sunday night, 8/7 Central. He's a boxing coach who's saved countless kids from the streets. And now Sugar Ray Leonard and George Foreman and Oscar De La Hoya joined the Extreme team to give him one knockout of a makeover. All new Extreme Makeover Home Edition Sunday at 8/7 Central on ABC. Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, Paul McGuire, Stacey Dales as you look in at Bobby Dodd Stadium, where Florida State leads 7-3, trying to add to it. Big 3rd down here. 3rd down and a couple at the Georgia Tech 10-yard line.
Oh, look at this out here. Single coverage.
The toss to Sims. Sims is racked up for a loss. Loss of 1. Derek Morgan and Kyle Jackson saying, Morgan's the baby of that defensive line, and he's a good one. There's the front 4 of Georgia Tech.
Now you see Derek Morgan at 6.5 sacks. That's just this year so far. I mean, these guys are really together. This front 4, they have to really win this football game, I think.
Gano has hit 13 in a row. He'll try a 29-yarder here. On the way and just inside the right post. Florida State adds to its lead. Gano's 14th straight field goal. 10-3 now the Noles in front. Coming up tonight, the guns will be blazing out in West Texas, won't they? Texas and Texas Tech, 2 of the 8 remaining unbeatens, having at it on ABC.
How about Texas's last few ball games? They've been doing a gauntlet.
It's been a gauntlet, hasn't it? Yeah. Texas isn't going to get any easier after today either.
Yeah, you know, the only thing about it is those guys really don't like to throw the ball.
That game may last 4 hours.
I know. I hope Brent and the guys got an extra tank of gas out there. That thing will go about 4.5.
But then again, not many of them hit the ground, so
that's true.
The clock doesn't stop.
That's true.
Roddy Jones, who had a great return on his opening kickoff return of the ball game. Back deep, James Esco's got it teed up. Florida State was a 22-yard drive is all they had to go because of their big kick return, and got the Gano field goal 10-3. High kick that Jones looks in the sun at the 9. Jones, another good return. Across the 35 to the 37, and there might have been, was there a flag in there at the end? Thought I saw something fly on the sideline, apparently not. So Georgia Tech will have good field position after we check in with John Saunders in New York. John?
Brad, Sports Center right now powered by Vizio. 26 seconds left. Minnesota and Northwestern. Adam Weber back to pass. Brendan Smith steps in front of it, and then look at the convoy. 48 yards to the end zone for the touchdown. We already had 3 top 25 teams have lost this week, including Minnesota.
So the Golden Gophers, only their 2nd loss of the year. They've been a surprise team on the positive side. Here's a pitch. Roddy Jones to the 41.
Oh, man. I'm going to tell you what, you want to talk about taking a fake up the middle. Florida State, their whole inside of their defense went for the dive man. Watch this, folks. When they come out to the outside, Roddy Jones is all by himself. Here it comes. Look at the people in the middle. Thank you, Robert. And then here's the toss. Bing to the outside. There's nobody there.
It's a triple option. You stop the fullback first, then the quarterback, and then the pitch.
At the 42-yard line of Florida State. First down, Georgia Tech. Now it's Nesbitt keeping. And Josh gets inside the 40 down to about the 38-yard line, picked up close to 5. Myron Rolle made the stop from the secondary.
You know, Ness, this is an offense. You know, when I watched film with Greasy yesterday, God, he would love to have played this offense.
Oh, you bet he would.
He would have loved to have been this quarterback.
I've really been good in this offense, yeah. I could run as good as my grandmother.
Second down at 5. Now Dwyer to the 35, a pickup of a couple. Third down and about 3 upcoming for Georgia Tech.
The thing about this style of offense, the option, the spread triple option, you don't see it very often. And Florida State, in the middle of the season, has 3 or 4 days during the week defensively to try to change all of their philosophies and stop this triple option.
That's Mickey Andrews, the defensive coordinator, and as Mickey said, only got about 2.5 days to get ready. Third down and a big one.
It's Mickey.
Nesbitt going to keep it. Nice second effort, but I don't think he got there. Looks like he's about a yard shy. Stacy?
Well, guys, just a reminder, talking to Mickey Andrews this week, defensive coordinator for Florida State, he told us it's going to take at least a half of a quarter to catch on and grasp what this Georgia Tech defense, or rather offense, is doing. And he also said we've got to play more desperate than we have any time this year. So just an indication of how seriously they've taken it this week.
It's a good point, because they can't, nobody in practice can simulate the quarterback play of a guy that does this. He said it'll take us a couple of series to get up to speed. And then once we get up to speed, we should be all right.
Nesbitt keeps on a quarterback sneak, and I think he got the first down. That is the 14th time this year Georgia Tech has gone on 4th down. They had 4th down in about 1.
They had to get inside the 32-yard line. Inside.
They're going to bring the chain gang out. You can't always go 100% by that goal line Jack Childress says they don't need the chain gang. First down.
See, he looked at the yellow line.
He cannot. He can't see that yellow line.
I know that.
I know you know, but I'm just telling our viewers.
Bobby Bowden doesn't get on the headset much. He was on it there. And now the gamble pays off for Georgia Tech. And they've got a first down at the 32. And the quarter comes to a close. Good one here in Atlanta in the ACC. Seminoles trying to go to 7-1. Georgia Tech looking for their 7th win of the season.
Was that a review?
And the officials.
Well, I said, because I was looking at the markers across the way, Ness, and it looked like it had to be inside the 32-yard line.
Well, I got news for them. That's why they have chains out there. They don't have to take a look upstairs when you can bring the chain gang on.
And they didn't bring them out, and they moved the chains.
The chains have already been moved, exactly. But I'm saying that's why you should bring the chains out.
Yeah, you don't do this if you don't measure. I mean, how could you tell from that view how far he got in that mess?
I mean, what do you do now? Do you go back and do you look at it on film and see where the chains were? Now put the chains back to where they were and then come back out and measure it? I mean,
unless you know where the hole in the grass is on the far side, it's not going to do you much good.
The call on the field stands. It is a first down.
You can't move the chains and then look at a view.
Nothing ceases to amaze me sometimes. The end of one. I don't think we have to review the score, do we? It's 10-3.